purpose of those that missed it and they still want to join. All right, so again, my name is Erica Balderas-Perez. My husband is Rudy Perez, and we are here to help you with your new home planning visualization for 2026. These are the 5-step proven methods that my husband and I took to make our home possible. The purpose of us meeting today is because we noticed that the housing market had become nearly impossible for many people, or the rising prices started making others feel overwhelmed if they wanted a custom home of their own. And therefore, we wanted to make it easier to reduce that defeated feeling and instead feel worthy of the home that you deserve. Because if God has called you to have your own home for your family and it's within your heart, He will provide the path. You are only one faith-guided decision away from building that beautiful, safe, and durable home that your family and you have dreamt of. And this can all happen while saving money instead of overspending and giving away your hard-earned money. When we are done with the session, I will give you our private group access that I had promised when you got my emails or registered. That is a bonus for being here today and giving us an hour of your time. I also, towards the end, will speak about a bonus and how you can access that one for contracting the proper contractors, the right questions that you can ask them, getting all that guesswork out of the way. So every time you contract a new person to build, not a general contractor because you're the project manager, but any decision, if you need a foundation, a wall, how do you get the best person that charges the least possible unless you're getting some bonuses done by them? And what do you tell them? How do you compare the quotes? And how do you tell them, yes, I want you to help me out with this part of my home? While we go through our session, I would love for you all to get social. Share your favorite slide, and you can tag me at Erica Balderas-Perez on Facebook or Instagram at the Erica Balderas so that I can repost and I can stay connected with you. Here's our testimonial. We bought our first home in our 20s. Our first home was a Spanish looking style home, traditional with a courtyard. It was very stressful because we were so young and we just thought we want a home. Our general contractor was really helpful, very kind. The only problem is a lot of the promises he made to us were not the things that he stuck to. We ended up overpaying for a house that did not meet half of the things that we had asked for on paper. I still have the binder with the images, and that house was not exactly that, except for the exterior that we were very pleased with. We still were grateful because God gave us a home, and I know in this economy, we also cannot be so extremely selective and picky. However, after that happened, we sold our home during the pandemic. After owning it for 8 years, we went into a rental, eventually into a cabin, because we wanted to save money, subdivide family land, and break ground for our farmhouse. We got a general contractor quote that was way out of our means. It was $460,000 for the same home that we owner built, self-contracted for $180,000. And just like that, we went from that big quote to faithfully following the project management route. I do not know what state you're in unless you shared it with me privately, but you're welcome to share it on chat. What state are you at? Where are you planning to build? We are in Texas. However, there is not a limitation or majority of the states on you owner builder and project managing your home. However, California and New York do have more restrictions, so you want to make sure and look at that. So here's your advantage and why you should stick with us and stay focused. When you go through this process, the guided strategies, lessons, you go from land to move-in ready, not just visualizing mentally, but towards the end, we talk about how we actually did all these methods and how we can help you do it too. It reduces errors, it reduces stress. We give you the cost templates, the full process checklist, and we even talk about subcontracting the right way. Here are the credentials and why you can trust us to do this. We have faith in God that that is the biggest testimonial someone can have when being an owner builder. and making that big choice of managing your home. Our home has every single one of the sectioned beams. They had a verse written by myself, my husband, or our children. And that was really important. My education is in business administration, so I know about negotiating cost. I know about all the spreadsheets that I'll talk about later. But the thing that I also know most is education. I've been doing it for over 12 years. The last four have been in the virtual environment. So everything that you do here, when you stay focused, you will be able to apply it in real life. One piece that I can tell you right now that you can go and do right after you leave our session is go to a material store or wherever it is that you go, Home Depot, pick a piece of brick, tile, whatever you want your interior to have. One little piece, not a whole lot. It'll cost you $1.25. Or hold a small piece of the cabinet wood that you hope for. Holding on to something can give you so much faith throughout the entire process. For me, I had a small cabinet wood piece that I found at one of the homes. I asked if I could have that piece. I held it in my Jeep compartment, and that's what got us from we don't have a home, the land is taking way too long to prepare to break ground, but still keep it in mind. And eventually, when we had our carpenter in our home, we were able to use the same wooden material to build the cabinetry. Not that tiny piece, but that visualization of it. So keep your prayer on your land, keep patience, and continue the contribution. I know that you can do this. Now stay present because this can change your family's future. Do you feel priced out of the housing market right now? And I cannot fully see the chat, but I do want to peek at it really quick just in case. If there's anything that you want to share with us, you are welcome to be sending it on there. Even questions, even if we review towards the end. Let me go ahead and continue. So if you've been feeling priced out of the market, the budgeting, construction, it all feels overwhelming. Maybe even looking for a house in your community right now because of all the bidding wars or overpriced homes for homes that probably aren't worth it, but you still feel called to move forward. If this is you, do you wish someone could show you the safe, organized, cost-attainable, step-by-step path to that dream home so that it's a reality? This right here, as you can see in my background, is our office, something I could have only ever dreamt of. And my husband and I love to work here, whether he's doing schooling or we're doing things for the business, chatting with people. You're in the right place today. If you've been tired of either renting or waiting for that special home for your needs, you want some sort of stability, then that's what we're going to plan out today. Here's where I really need you to stay focused. And if you have a sheet of paper, you're writing notes on your phone, this is the part where I feel is really the beginning of somebody who wants a brand new home. No matter what route you go, if you go general contractor, owner, builder, you have to know where you want your home. So owning land that feels right for you and your family is key. Because if you feel the freedom of space somewhere where you feel comfortable, you can eventually build on that financial freedom as well instead of owning in a burden. So if you want a city, maybe like by the lake or country, gated community at a farm, wherever it is that you want, start thinking, what am I even looking for? If you already own land, you want to move forward to this next tip. Having a peaceful home built by God's way for this season in your life is really important. So what is God calling you to do and to step into next? What does he want from you? And this is important for when we visualize. I'll explain why. No matter how many doors have closed, God is leading you. And the reason I know this is my husband, my children, and I, when we had to wait only on the dirt for our home to be built, we somehow had this strange faith that one day we would be sitting in this exact home, that nothing would stop us. And even though there was a lot of challenges and a lot of barriers to actually make it happen, we did not stop because we knew the one that had sent that decision and path for our family. Yes, you can build your home that is durable and beautiful. The construction that you make, and this is not ours, I'll show it to you in a minute, but whatever construction you make, keep your values in mind because the values of what you and your family need far outweigh what anybody else has or anybody else can do for you. Here's where we started. So this is the before. You can see our little girls right here on the bottom. This is our after. It ended up being so much more than we had even dreamt of. Behind me down there, I still have the architectural plans. We framed them. It was a key part of visualization. If you have the plans, whether they're drawn out or an actual architect did it for you, that is going to be huge for you. Do any of you already own land or have your architectural plans or have you drawn out your dream home? Let us know in chat what part of the process you're in. For us, when we only had a drawing and then later the architectural plan, we eventually thought this is taking way too long to subdivide, so let's draw it out. And we spray painted on the land. That's why I ask you if you already have land or as soon as you buy it, you can spray paint the ground to mark where your home spaces will be. That encourages you to keep going, even when it feels that it is taking a bit longer than you hoped for. Eventually, you too will be moving into your home, living the life you and your family were called to. Here in today's masterclass, our roadmap goes from ground up to the roof in visualization. We talk about milestones as well. What month do we start? When do we finish? More about that in a few minutes. And we took this five-step proven method because it is the same one that ended up saving us those $280,000 and the stress. So take your step one. Are you trusting your heart? Do you have that firm foundation for you and your family where you keep calling to do this, yet somehow you don't feel that you've been obedient to God because it goes way out of your comfort zone? Why is faith the first piece of work to take in this entire journey? Because when my husband and I went and did the architectural design, we started feeling stressed and panicked. We didn't know how we were going to afford everything. To tell you the reality of how it was happening, we didn't have all the money in the bank. We didn't have a construction loan. All we had were some retirement funds, some savings, and whatever we had from selling our home, which after paying debt with most of it, there wasn't a whole lot left of it. But this verse came to my mind, Proverbs 24:3, that says, I will not rest until I find and build a home for the Lord. It's more in detail if you read it in the Bible. But my husband and I held on to those words, and every time we were ready to give up, scared, running away from our plan, we ran back into it because we knew who was the one guiding and leading our way. And when that vision started, with the help of some friends that were owner building too, my father, who also is really hands-on, and my husband, who was a cornerstone to everything that we did, that vision started to take place. And as you can see here, our little ones were really enjoying the process. If you go this route, because you have all access to your home the entire time, just be extra careful and extra safe when you're with your kids in the construction zone. But they did really well. So what's been holding you back? Is it debt? Is it your mindset? Is it the fear that you don't know what to do next? We're going to take a minute. I want you to write out a prayer and a blessing for your home journey. When you write this out, you can do it on a sheet of paper or even pray it in your mind. It is important that you hold true to it. And don't worry, we have more exercises coming where you're actually visualizing your physical home, but this is just that one verse or one thought. So start speaking a blessing for your home journey. I'll give you that minute. All right, I hope that you were able to hold on to that blessing and don't give up on it. Now, keep in mind that we will continue creating more opportunities for you to start believing in your chances of getting this home that you want in 2026. In the chat, if you're comfortable enough, I would love to see your verse or promise. What verse or promise did you do to build your house on? If it didn't happen for you this moment, don't worry. Rudy's here too, but it didn't happen for us right away. It took a lot of conversation, meditating on God's word, and going to try to take action until we finally knew exactly what promise we would hold on to. But if you have it, send it in the chat. You're one step ahead. And believe is the primary indicator that this will happen for you. Because when we were 20 and we thought we're going to own a house and it's going to be built, it's not going to be one that's pre-owned, it happened. You just really have to believe it, even if it's hard and scary. Here's a method that you can start taking today. If you have free time today, maybe if you have your spouse, your kids, and you want to look at homes or start planning, one thing that we would do is go peek at different homes that were open houses, and get ideas, only for ideas. We were not going to fall for that 40% upcharge or land where it was really high in taxes that we didn't have a chance to reduce taxes on by agriculture. So we were really picky, but because we wanted to make a home that was peaceful financially and still sustainable for a family. Today, you can also start your vision board, get some pictures printed from Pinterest or magazines. You can start doing that. Or you can go online and look at photos of homes. Not necessarily, is this a home that I'm going to live in, but can I get some ideas? These are only ideas. Another action that I really hope that you take, make time for this. Get a babysitter, ask your parents to take care of the kids, but you and your husband, or when they go back to school next week, go on a date, a coffee shop date, cafe date, of just a peaceful place, quiet place. Take a notebook or sheet of paper and draw out your plan together. Your children will later have time to go and sketch your plan with you, but I feel like it's key that you and your spouse sit down and first draw out your idea. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an artist. The whole point is for you to put how many rooms, where's the living room. It doesn't even have to be the exterior. You're just writing out the vision of the interior. Hold on to that paper, hold on to those different pieces of images that you got on Pinterest, and eventually you'll go to an architect and they'll help you put it all together professionally. I tell you to take action designing and coming up with ideas, because once you know more or less what you want and you put it on paper, and Rudy, can you bring me that poster board or show it? This is the reason I feel. Okay, so my husband is going to show you, but this is what my daughters and I did. And my husband, he had a lot of part in how we decided to design as well. But we put it all in a big board so that we always remembered what things do we want. Not everything came as we wanted on those images, because later we decided we don't so much want that. We want more minimalistic, or we don't want the double, what happened? Oh, okay. We don't want like the double bed for the kids. What if they end up falling? That was going to be custom built. So things changed, but for the most part, laundry room, mud room, um, the all the cabinetry, the closets, so much of it stayed the same. So have that vision, God will provide, I promise you. And my friend would tell me that, Erica, don't stop, don't worry. God is going to provide. He really will. I'm going to pause here and let my husband speak, because he wants to share this part of the story with you. Okay, he'll join here on the laptop and he can take over on this one.
This one. Okay, so a little bit taller. So yeah, we went on social media. We started asking if it was possible to build a home, or if anyone in that builders page would be able to help us build our home for our budget. And pretty much we were laughed at, and um, we couldn't get any solid, concrete information on how to do it. Everybody was just too busy being non-believers. So we researched it anyway, and we spoke to my father-in-law, and he pretty much just told us, yeah, I mean, you can, but you'll have to build it on your own. So we took his advice because we trust that he had our best interest, and we know he did. He's a good man. So we followed him, and he was also a big help in this whole building process. And he believed in us. He showed us how because he had built many homes already. So on his own, he built about 3 different homes for his family, and he showed us how to do it. And now we're trying to come out here and help people build their own home as well, and not listen to the people that say it's impossible to build a home, especially in today's market, for a whatever budget that you may have. So yeah, it is definitely possible. And if you have the right people on your side uh, that truly believe in you and support you and help you bring your vision to life, then it's definitely doable. You just really have to stick with it, and you have to be very patient because it is a lengthy process, and there's days that you're going to feel like this is going nowhere. Did we make the right choice? Should we have just gone to a subdivision and purchase a home there and get it over with and be paying a mortgage for the next 30 years? I mean, you can always go that route, but when you build it on your own, the peace that comes with it, and it feels very, very solid. It doesn't feel like um, we made the wrong choice. We definitely made the right choice going this route, even though at times it felt like, you sometimes doubt sneaks in. You're like, as I mentioned earlier, you think about things and you start overthinking things. And there were just times that we came so close to purchasing an already made home. Uh, but we were reminded by more than anything, looking into the Bible and reading random stories or open up to a random page and finding the answer to just keep pushing forward with our owner builder project. And well, we're here today to tell you that it is very possible. Excuse me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and step back in. I hope that you enjoyed hearing also Rudy's voice in this matter because it is a team effort. If that's why I talk about the date that you should have with your partner and your family. It's everybody puts in the effort together. You cannot make it happen on your own, not only with your partner, but also the relationships you have with the people you hire, from an architect all the way to your subcontractors. It is really important. At this moment, if you can please close your eyes for a few seconds. I hope you're not driving. If you're driving, don't do this, but close your eyes and visualize your home. So start imagining. Let's think, how does the outside look? Is it very simple? Is it farm, country, French? What do you see? Do you see color, brick? Now go towards your doors. Do you see wooden doors, modern black iron doors with beautiful reflective glass? Like, what do you see as your entrance? Or is it simple and a door, a white door, or maybe a pink door? And you open it, do you go right into your entire home, or do you have a foyer kind of secret entrance? Is there an office, a kid's playroom? How are your children's room? Are they a Jack and Jill right next to each other with a shared restroom? Do you have a secondary floor where your master bedroom is at? How do your stairs look if you have any stairs? And do you have a balcony up there? If you don't have a second floor, how does your living room look? Is it really wide and open right next to the dining room? Are they separate? How does your island look? Do you have a huge island with black countertop, or are you like me and have a white countertop with honey veins of sparkly gold? What color of countertop? Is it white? Is it just so hard to see that you don't know for sure right now, but you do know that you're going to make this happen for your family because there is a plan and there is an idea, and God is going to lead you there. How about, do you have a laundry room, cabinets? What color are your walls and your cabinets? Now, imagine there's a second door. You entered through one. Where would your second door be? How do you exit? How do people come in and out when they're coming to hang out at your house? So visualizing that, walk right out, and how much space do you have? Are you in the country? Do you have animals? Are you in a small subdivision where you have a neighbor outside saying hello? Just start imagining. Knowing what you want is the first step in anything in life to make it happen. I knew I wanted to marry my husband when I was 16. I probably shouldn't have even thought that. Now that I have kids, I'm like, oh no. But I knew that I loved this guy and he was smart and his eyes were beautiful. So I knew I wanted that. And then later, when I didn't really know that I wanted children, God stemmed that idea. And somehow, when it came to fruition, I knew what I wanted. And at that moment, I made sure and took care of everything that needed to happen. More stories of that later. But just have an idea of what you really want in life, and it'll happen. So what did you see? Did you see your children playing? Did you see a swimming pool? Was that living room a place to create bonding moments? You can send in chat. I'm really curious to know what type of home you imagined, what you felt, and what you wanted out of it. How was the kitchen and island? Was it a good place to gather and enjoy your family and friends? So now how do you make it happen? Where do you go from here? Towards the end, and I want you to stick around. I think it'll benefit you and you'll see the launch of our academy as well. But I want you also to leave with these ideas in mind that buying the land is really important because it's where you're designing your entire home. And try to buy prepped land. No matter where you go from here when you leave us today, if your land is ready to break ground on, you want to ask those questions because if not, it will take you a while to subdivide and prepare. It's worth it. We did it that way. But just know what type of patience do you have, how many years, how many months. If you only have 12 months, you want it to happen this year, likely buy land that's ready to break ground, that has the water connected. It'll save you loads of money. That has already prepped sewage, prepped electrical, temporary connections, all of that usually comes in some land, not all of them. Have your design ready to go. Keep it in one place, keep it visible so that your family keeps going towards that goal. And do the permit setups. Permits are really important to do it the most legal way to make sure that nobody gets in your way later once it's built. When I think of land, I think of the four square framework. The location, where do you want it? How convenient is it to you or how necessary? Is it ready to build? Is the pricing accurate for you and your family so that you don't feel strained? Because you don't want huge monthly payments and then you can't really break ground because you're having a hard time finding the rest of the money. So remember, you might have two payments at first until you merge those into one mortgage. And does it feel peaceful? Does it feel like the right place to build? And you'll know that when you walk the land. How to choose the sellers for your land. We are not agents, real estate agents. We're owner builders. We did not go owner finance. We ended up buying the land and it was family land. So my dad was really generous. So if you have family land and you're able to subdivide, that works. But if not, owner finance is a great way to do it. You go to Facebook Marketplace, check that it's legitimate, go look at the land, and usually somebody will finance you straight out of their own pocket. So you take the title, you give them the payments, but just be careful. You want to make sure everything is done right at the title company. And family, again, is another option if you don't buy land straight from out in the community. Your engineering is important too. Make sure before you break ground, even if you have permits, you've done soil testing, surveys, and septics. This is not hard. Remember, you're hiring people, experts. You're not doing it all on your own. You're just telling people to go and do the work, and then you pay them. Inspections are important, both from professionals, but then your own inspections too, looking at every detail. Sometimes you get so excited and you want to pay your contractors that you forget to look, was that done right? Is my floor really leveled right? Are my walls painted exactly how I asked? It doesn't mean that you're being extremely picky, but because you're giving out thousands of dollars to your builders, you want to make sure they're doing the right job for you. Now, here is where we make sure that you have this vision for this year and it happens in 2026. It's the timeline planning. I call it the land to keys. Land to keys is so important. When is your start date? When do you want to start? Whatever it is, the architectural plan, the promise prayer vision. I would say today was the day that you started that. But when do you want to break ground? So have a plan for the year, write it out on a sheet of paper, and when do you want to move into your house? Our suggestion is if you're building a house below 1,200 square feet, a smaller home, you can do it in 6 months and it won't be that expensive. If you are building above 1,600, 1,700 to 2,000, 2,100, give yourself 11 months just to have wiggle room. If you are planning to go at 3,000 square feet, for sure, give yourself the year. So plan it out. You don't have to know every step. I'll show you how we went through the steps ourselves, but you at least want to have an idea. Here's your savings comparison. A general contractor will cost you $460,000 to make the same house, probably less quality and probably less of what you wanted inside compared to how much you pay as owner builder. We ended up spending $180,000 counting right about every dollar because I had notes on my phone and on Excel sheets. You might save even up to $280,000, or it may end up costing you that much. The variation is based on state, material, who you choose to hire, and if you yourself know how to build portions of the house, or you know a family member that can help. More about that in a bit. So your savings of 50,000 to 200 because you're managing those decisions. So dream big, but make sure it's still within your family's reality of what you want. You don't want to overdo it just because everybody else does or because you saw a neighbor. You want to do what is true to you and your family. And then here's the verse I talked about earlier. I will not give sleep to my eyes or slumber to my eyelids until I find a place for the Lord, a dwelling place for the mighty one of Jacob. I feel like having that promise, verse, whatever it is that is for you, and sticking to it and putting it on the timeline or the visuals at your home is going to help you get there. Now, if the visuals start giving you stress later on, you feel like you're falling behind, you're not following the timeline, you can get to a point where you put them away for a little bit, take breathing room, go out on walks, have fun, take a week off of thinking about all of this, but then go back to it. Don't give up on it. Contracting your team and team building is really important. So once you know how your home will look, you want to sit down and know the cost so that you can pay each of your contractors. But just know, we, after subdividing, engineer, paying the portions of land that we're paying, we only had $10,000 to break ground. And then we had to make really, really resourceful choices. We had to get small business, um, small personal loans, the low debt personal loans, as low as we could find them, 0% credit cards. We had to get really resourceful. But in the academy, I show you how to end up merging everything towards the end. So it becomes only one payment, a much smaller payment than if you would have gone and bought that $400,000 home elsewhere. So trust in this process. Trust in your subcontractors because you are capable of picking the right people. And my husband and I will show you how to select the people and how to communicate with them. You will have written agreements and invoices, payment schedules, and everything is planned out the way that we did it. Expectations and communication will give you peace in everything, whether it's your relationship, your home, that you know what you expect, you communicate it, and then if it doesn't work out, at least you all talked about it. So here's our story, which you kind of got a vision from, but we went from land foundation, building our home. Here's my husband getting very involved with the house. He loved to kind of oversee the work of the builders and see how our progress was going. We now get to teach others how to do the same so that they may get similar or even better results. So if we can do it, so can you. So if you're thinking, if they can do it, so can I do believe that. Here's a fourth step of the process when you project manage. Keep the faith going when you're managing your daily task and weekly task. Do not feel because you fell behind, something didn't go the right way, there was an error somewhere in the house, that things are now impossible. Not at all. We had mistakes. We paid someone really early, bad mistake. He ended up leaving us. We actually did it twice. You think we would have learned the first time. But we talk about that in the academy so that you avoid those $7,000 mistakes, $6,000 mistakes, and you know your weekly task without stress. We didn't know certain steps. Even if we had friends and family that had done this, they didn't think of every single step. They weren't running a course on it or an academy. They were telling us what they thought we could do. So we have every one of the steps. And like my husband says, when something is missing, whether it's in the course academy, you can ask us. If not, you can research it. You can go out to speak to your contractors and tell them, hey, I see this specific door, like we put French doors. I don't think they're installed correctly. They feel kind of wiggly. It's okay to say that, even if you don't feel like you're an expert. My sister and I, we ended up coming to check on every door after it got installed. Know that your material orders and store accounts are important because they will make the magic happen of how your interior design looks. We want to keep you on budget, on timeline to decrease your spending and get your home done. So later on, we will talk walkthroughs, inspections within the academy. But for now, I want to tell you, don't think that these mistakes don't cost. Even though they're obviously things you can fix, there is not really a YouTube video or enough guessing to make this house build happen without losing too much money. So when you're thinking future pacing, again, if you can close your eyes, walk through that finished home and tell yourself that this is possible for me because it is possible for you. It will happen. I know that it will. So, what does it look like? What do you feel? And is it happening this year for you? If you need the support to get there, do you see how these 5-step methods might have removed some fear to give you confidence? So if you would like for me and my husband to guide you step by step through the entire home building process, we have 6 different modules, live Q&A. I'll share everything that comes within that will help you get there. I'd like to invite you to join the Homestead Owner Builder Academy. Only if it makes sense to your family. If the budget makes sense to your family, if you want to go the owner builder route, and only if you feel confident and ready to put in the work, the time and sacrifice it takes. This is a faith-led, step-by-step system. It teaches you how to manage your own home build with clarity and affordability. Like I said, you can confidently save $50,000 to $200,000 on your home. Your interest payments for the lifetime of your home are outstanding as well. For us, we're going to end up saving over $300,000 on interest because we didn't go with a 30-year loan. We didn't go with a $400,000 mortgage. We just pay interest on the small loan we ended up needing for our home. So your debt is reduced. Therefore, you're not overpaying neither the bank nor a builder. What do you get in the academy? You get a slide-by-slide stack of course modules. In within each module, we drip it over 6 weeks. So it starts towards mid-January, during February, and we do walkthroughs with it. That way you hold on to it for the rest of the year and you can dig back into it whenever you hit those specific milestones of the modules. We have bonuses, an app to go, the spreadsheets you need to calculate your materials and labor, make it unique to you, and how to get those prices. The organization, the invoices and finances that you'll need in order to make it happen, including 50 ways to get the money you need to own or build. And a contractor guide prompt on how to speak, find, and communicate with your contractors. Also, the Facebook community goes beyond the 7-day free bonus that you get. So you have everything ready to build. You can take a look at the enrollment page, ericabalderas.com/enroll. If you're curious, you're motivated, determined, and faith-led, and you know, if I can do it, so can you. Avoid the overwhelm, avoid that decision fatigue. If you want your new home, don't get the wrong contractors, and do not avoid delays on your permits. And that's what we go over in these modules. So module 1, we talk all about the foundation, your faith, your mindset, and the vision, kind of what we went over here, but way more in depth when it comes to laying that foundation. Step 2 on the module is we do vision planning and purpose. You're designing your home with timelines that are true to who you're contracting. You get to look over your vision boards with me, faith partnership, and the milestone planning. But it's not all just planning. We start preparing your land. If you haven't bought land, you can share things with us and we can help guide you to buying the right land, getting the proper permits, knowing that your floor plan is something you can afford, helping you with budgeting, and finding the materials in the best places to get them. On module 4, we go over the temple blueprint for your home. Who do you contract? When do you schedule them? If it's raining, how long would those delays take? And what do you expect from people? How do you protect your material? In the total counting the cost. Because which of you intending to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost? That's Luke 14:28. On module 5, we build in motion. The way I see this is a durable structure by design and stewardship with a foundation, so the floor all the way to roof, to closing it up. So module 5, we are basically going over how are we closing this whole thing? What windows, what doors, what roof, every single thing. In module 6, that's your big old congratulations. You're in my favorite part of the academy and of the owner builder journey. There you are painting your walls, getting your cabinet installs. You've already done the pre-work between the walls. We've talked about plumbing and water and installation in previous modules. So right here is where you get to do the functional things, the lightings, the fixtures, the faucets, and you celebrate your move-in because that is a huge deal. And it matters to us that you get your inspections done, that you celebrate, and that we're a part of it when you do. Your bonuses when you enroll for Academy are contracting script book, the one I talked about at the beginning. You get this fully for you. You get to use it throughout the build. And if for some reason this year you don't finish your build, it goes on for a few months, you have lifetime access. This is yours. You download it, you keep, use it whenever. You get the budget templates and line items, every one of them that I've created for you all, based on every single thing that nobody else could teach us and help us with when we were building, to make sure that life is easier for you than it was for us as owner builders. Bonus 3, we talk about permits and approval track toolkit. I give you this one. It's a value of $245. You get it free with it. You avoid costly delays, miscommunications. It helps you with your project to move with clarity and make sure that you're doing it the legal and proper way in your community. So each of them have a specific value. If you register today, after having watched, speak to your spouse if you can, if they're not here live with you or listening, but you also get the Ask Your Contractor Toolkit. This one is specific scripts I use when I would text them or call them or when my husband would take over. And you talk about how do you get the best pricing with the best quality. So you get that as well. Now think about this. Would this 6-week academy help you get through your goal faster? If you think it would help you get there faster, then I would say if you're in agreement with your husband and you can't afford to enroll to the Homestead Owner Builder Academy, I would say that you should. I actually took a course on how to start my business. Even though I have a bachelor's, a master's, everything in between, I still ended up taking a course. I needed somebody who had gone before me to reduce mistakes. And even though I invested that money, I ended up getting so much more from my investment because I learned things that I would have never known otherwise. All of this that you get, including bonuses and experience and knowledge from what we've gone through, is $40,000 worth. And that is a little compared to how much you could spend on a general contractor. It's all yours for $1,799 with lifetime access. That is probably less than you doing anything else for the entire house. It's definitely less than when we bought the tile, the flooring. It's probably even less than what we spend on takeout after several months. So at the end of the day, know what is it that I want this year. And if it's the home and I need your help, then this might be your place. Your full savings is from 50 to $200,000 that you don't go with a general contractor. You get to oversee the 6 months, and we get to be a part of your process. You're reducing delays that come with hiring a contractor, a general contractor. You reduce the cost, the interest of that big loan, and the absolute lack of quality because a lot of the times they're using things that are either not top quality because they want to stay below budget. So you're also not getting those big upsells at the end that end up getting you into big debt. So here's everything that you get in a visual, including the spreadsheets. Those I think are the most valuable, along with the live Q&A. Because we want to make it accessible to everyone who has a dream for a home this year, and we want to do it with true ownership from start to finish for you, I am doing a membership of $189 monthly for 12 months. So if you can't do the full payment, it's just not reasonable, but your family really wants to join the academy, this is the cost. Could you find a way to make these payments work? Could it help you because you are avoiding the general contractor fee, but you still get the help that you need all throughout? So you don't throw money away. Our $7,000 mistake was way more than the academy. So you can avoid those mistakes. And there would have been a lot of things that we would have done differently had we had a step-to-step method and the correct process that we needed. If you're ready for your dream home, you can enroll at ericabalderas.com/enroll. I hope to see you there. If you do end up joining, you get access, and this is our countertop that I was speaking about during the visualization. You're going to get access to the plans, you'll stay organized, and the complete checklist that, again, we wish we had because my checklist was not half what I thought I needed. This checklist goes from start to move-in ready, every single little thing. Whether you ordered your fixtures already, you hired the person that was putting up the beams, did you end up counting the right amount of windows, everything to mark off as you go so that you have it on your door or your wall wherever you're living right now and you get to check it off so that you're not stressed throughout the process. When you enroll, you have the two options. There's secure checkout, you have the payment options there, and you can pick which one works for you. If neither work for you right now, I don't open the enrollment again until September or October. So if you're planning to build this year, I highly recommend you do make that decision before we start the January cohort. The reason is I want to stay really focused with my first cohort, the founding group. I don't want to be so distracted trying to launch over and over. I want to see the homes go into fruition. If you made the wrong decision, say that for some reason you felt like, you know what, I did this, I was excited, but now my mind changed. You have a 7-day money back guarantee. If you have done the modules that you get after the start, so you would start, try out some of the modules. When you completed module 1 and 2, if you decide that it is not for you, we can refund your investment. I believe in stewardship and integrity, and I know that my students will have the same integrity. If you are going to use the course, then you stick to it. If your investment didn't seem that it was reaching that transformation you wanted, then you can make the choice to change your mind. So everything that you get is in ericabalderas.com/enroll. Take action if you want to join the academy. Your testimonials matter. I hope that you join the academy. I hope that Rudy and I get to be a part of this with you. But if we're not, and for some reason you can't do this right now, still, when you buy land, you prep it, you break ground, take pictures, tag us, tell us, email me. I want to see those moments. Your family's path matters, and we want to cheer you on. So if you are feeling a little stressed about things like, I don't even know where to start, I'm scared to manage people, I'm afraid of mistakes, I cannot afford land, how can I even afford a full build? Don't stress, we have it all covered in the course. And I actually wanted to mention, I have one of my previous students on here as well. And I think that that is beautiful as well as a testimonial that I will stay in your life for a long time. She was my student for 4 years and then has stayed in my life and connected. since then. We always see each other, online, we stay in communication and make sure that our lives are going beautifully as well. And so I think of you, and that's Alexis. Thank you for being here. And she's also provided testimonial as to how I guide and lead and help people with projects and the way that you think, your beliefs. So let God lead the build. God, again, is your main cornerstone. I cannot do this for you fully. My husband can't either. Nobody else in your community can. But God, if He's giving you a direction and you follow His lead and you pray on it, He will get you there from start to finish. For my husband and I, we can guide the process. We can give you the tips, the templates, the videos on how we do every step. And you, my friend, you get to be the hero. What that means is if you told your family we're making this home happen, you get to say, I know how to do it, and we're going to walk right through it. And this year's the year it happens. The enrollment for this cohort of the Founding Academy for Homestead Owner Builder, it closes January 11th. So if you still need to think about it, you still have time to get all the bonuses. You get 3 of them no matter when you enroll until January 11th. But once I close, again, it closes until fall. However, that extra 4th bonus, you get it based on being live here. So between today, tomorrow, you enroll, I'll send you an update that you're going to have access to that one. The following weeks is when I'm sending you all the information of how you'll access. In January 20th, we start the very first day. I know that you're busy. I know that you may be a mother, a father, working person, a housekeeper for your home, everything. So I will always have recordings, whether it's of the Q&A, of the lessons, all the downloads, the planning guides, they're all going to be within for you to access throughout the entire year. By the end of February, we will have gone through the entire 6 modules, and you will know exactly what to do. So what if you enroll? What if you enroll and all you do is gain wisdom to buy land? Wouldn't that be amazing? Once you buy land, my father bought the land that we ended up subdividing so many years ago. I cannot even remember. That's how long it's been. Probably 20 years. He didn't know what was going to happen, but he always told me I had a vision that one day my family would build in that home, in that land, because it was so extensive. Now, keep this in mind. If you buy land, is it just for you or is it your children and your children's children? There's a Bible verse that talks about that, and you can look it up as well, where a good man keeps a future or savings for his children's children, or a good woman in general. What if you just gain motivation? What if you just save towards your dream home this year because you enrolled, now you're all excited, and Eric and Rudy are helping you and you're encouraged, and somehow you save $30,000? Wouldn't that be enough that you invested and now you have 30,000 saved this year, 20,000, 10,000, and now you're ready to start even towards the end of the year? What if you learned the skills, that creative faith and strategic thinking for the rest of your life? Those are some things that you can get from the academy. So, our mission here is to stop allowing people to feel trapped, discouraged, taken advantage of, and priced out of the market by general contractors or agents, people that are selling way above and then having to get huge interest on that. I want to make you a confident project manager where ethics, wisdom, and systems matter. In the academy, you'll have a resources tab or folder, and you'll have all of these things too: how to get the permits, how to subdivide if you end up doing what we did, how to land prep, finance, your loans, your everything, the taxes, land survey. If you want to go agriculture like us, we will have it there. Craftsmanship and hiring your architect, along with everything else. The link is in the chat. I think my husband might have sent it again. You can look on it, you can ponder on it, you can pray about it. You make the decision when it's right for you, if it's right for you. And if it is, we will be more than happy to guide you along the way. And I want to thank you today because you did not have to use this entire hour here. But I promise you that whatever you took from here, it's going to make you feel encouraged throughout, especially if you stick to that verse or promise you picked. If you ask, it will be given. If you seek, you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you. That's Matthew 7:7. Do you have any pending questions? Anything that we might have not shared that is still has you a little bit curious or wondering? If you do, send them on chat and we will be happy to answer. Is there any questions, Rudy, so far? No questions? All right, because right now I'm pulling it up, but I could mostly see my Canva and I want to make sure I don't miss that part. Uh, okay, Rosa, big window, spacious yard. I think the spacious yard is a huge thing. Carrie, you have your land and the goals have been set. The plan's done for your birthday in March. That is so exciting. You're in Nebraska now, being in Texas for 12 hours, building in Nebraska. How exciting. Thank you, Carrie, for taking the time to sit in with us all the way from Nebraska, thinking of building over there. I know it will happen for you, Alexis, Carrie, Andrea, Rosa, all of you, and everybody else who's watching this as a recording. When I send it, I know that this is your year. And if you have questions, do not feel intimidated. Even before you enroll, even after in that Facebook private group I'm giving you access to, you're not paying for that. I'm giving it to you for 7 days. You go and ask whatever question serves you. Because at the end of the day, we are still here to serve. When I decided to leave my full-time job to open an academy for owner builders, I did it with the intention that I am going to help people. I'm going to give them value, support, encouragement, and that in itself, God will provide. And the same will be for you. If you're doing the right things and you are hoping and praying for the right things, God will get you exactly where you and your family want to be. So if you've enrolled, and I'll go back and look at enrollment page, but if you decided to make the enrollment yours, I want to say congratulations and thank you for joining the Academy. You should expect the email with all the details, the live sessions, the Q&A access, and your access for the first day. We're going to kind of drip the emails as well so you don't get overwhelmed. I'll start sending kind of what to expect, when the dates start to add to your calendar. And we're not going to always be live. So if you think I'm way too busy, I will give just enough live for you to feel comfortable and ask your questions and feel motivated and not give up, but not too much where it takes over anything that's really important in your life. I want to make sure you can balance both. Being an owner builder only takes 10 to 15 hours of your week. And if you have a spouse and you divide it up, 5 hours for each, 7 hours for each. And some of our favorite memories and moments, and they still are weirdly enough, is going to material stores, to Home Depot, Mass Cash and Carry, McCoy's, walking around with our kids and picking different wood material, learning which wood material we liked. And especially finishes. My girls and I, we would go to material store to look at the showers, the floorings. We would look at backsplash. All that is really fun. And in the academy, I'll show you how to reduce cost. Even if you're somebody like me that wants to put all these fun finishes and pretty fixtures, um, I'll show you where to get the things at the best prices so that life is easier. And if you're a busy mom, I'll show you how to order ahead. That way you can just get there and they could load it on your truck or get it home for you. This is a sure path. Yes, you and your spouse or fiance will have full access to the entire academy, to the full year's account, and future years as I update it. Every year, my goal and plan is to update the membership. I want you to always have access, and God willing, I never have to discontinue the academy. I hope that it's my academy until I retire, but I will continue updating lifelong as long as it's running. And you'll have the community of support to share your progress, ask your questions, and celebrate with us. I want to thank you and I want to wish you the best, happiest new year, this 2026. I pray that God gives you so many blessings, warm moments, and loving patience, grace, and mercy for you and your family for every single day this year. This is for me and Rudy. And if you are curious about anything else, you can reach out. And one last thing, if you for some reason enjoyed, I hope you did, hanging out with us, and you want to hear more, you can hop on Spotify. I have the Bible Study Mom app on there. Well, it's a podcast. You can follow that and you can still listen to us and keep staying motivated throughout your building process. Congratulations on completing your visualization for your dream home. I am so glad you were here. Thank you. Thank you, Alexis. I'm so glad you felt this way. Oh, let me stop the recording really quick.
Everybody's out.
All right, I'm just gonna stop recording.